Good morning, welcome back to my channel. It's a Friday and I'm vlogging today. It's very peaceful here at the moment because Fridays are a daddy day with Stan, and Stan and Dan have gone to the playground. So yeah, this is going to be a kind of more day in my life on a work day. As you probably know, there's only 2 more weeks of SMUG, which is mad. I'll probably do a little bit of talking about why I've decided to close SMUG, some more detail in this, but just to start the video, a Friday morning looks slightly different to other mornings, but similar in some ways. So it's just that Dan doesn't have to go to work in the morning. So Stan is teething quite badly and has a runny nose at the moment, so he's waking up in the night and coming and co-sleeping with us. So he's in our bed for quite a big chunk of the night and then wakes up early-ish. I mean, today he didn't really get out of the bed till like 7 or something, but normally he wakes up at 6:30. So him and Danny got out of bed at 7 and they do their own thing, and I go back to sleep for a little bit. So I actually slept till 8:30 this morning, which was really nice. Sounds like some amazing lying, but the night was quite disturbed, so I sort of just needed it. But that's really nice because most days Danny is out the house by 7:20. So Friday mornings can be quite nice. So yeah, I'm about to do my morning pages and have a cup of tea, and then I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to crack on with my day and I'm going to take you along. Hi again. I thought I'd try and do a quick outfit of the day. So the lighting is quite hard to get this right, but this is a like rusty red t-shirt from Toast. I think it's kind of like linen cotton blend, or it feels like it anyway, and I love them. I've got a navy one too. And then this navy cardigan I got somewhere in Stockholm. I'm going to look up the brand name so you can have a look. Our mirrors are always dirty, sorry. And then these are the Alex trousers. I'm going to come back and see if you get more light from Toast that I live in. I don't think they've got any in at the moment, but they're really soft indigo denim and I love them. And then I've got these shoes on. I'm actually like super Toast today, because I bought these from Toast, but they're actually these guys. And then my socks are Arquette. I had a bit of an Arquette sock moment at Christmas. I'm going to link to all of the different pairs that I got. I did an Instagram post of like the palette of colours that I got that I love. So yeah, that's my outfit today. Don't know if you can actually see it. Can you tell that I'm not good at outfit of the days and have no practice? So yeah, proper bloggers, can you tell me how you actually go about doing this? Obviously a learning curve for me. So I've left the house, got my tea, waiting for the bus. I am working on a newsletter once I get to SMUG today for my Lizzie for SMUG Creative Entrepreneur readership. So that will be going out later today or maybe tomorrow morning. And we're getting ready for an event. Nancy Strawn, who's a stylist and an internety friend, she's been on my podcast, so I'll link to that in the show notes. She's great. She's running a Grounded Creatives meetup upstairs at SMUG tomorrow, which is going to be really fun. So I'm getting the space ready for that, and I'm the guest speaker, so I need to do a little bit of prep about what I want to say, talking about brand values and personal values. So yeah, I'll see you at SMUG. I'm taking the opportunity to just do a little bit of filming in SMUG. Obviously this is where I am today, but when there are customers in the shop it is difficult to film. Whoa, careful! Cyclists going down the passage. So yeah, this is what the window's looking like at the moment. Cafe SMUG is now done. It closed a couple of weekends ago. We'll be selling the coffee machine. And yeah, obviously we're on sale, so lots of bargains. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little tour of the shop quickly. Manny's here. Our sticky lemon stuff has sold out so quickly, but we've got these envelope bags left. But basically I think almost everything is on sale now except for Lizzie for Smug, and books and magazines aren't on sale, but yeah, I think everything else, it's just bargains, bargains, bargains. So let me show you downstairs. Oh, plant pots aren't on sale, but there are lots of plant pots to be bought on sale and lots of furniture, because we have plant pots that have been kind of used and filled with soil and stuff, all available on sale. So down here there's tons and tons of bargains, and kitchen dining. Sorry, it's taking a minute to focus because of the light changes, but we've got gorgeous ceramics. Yeah, so this is what it's looking like down here. I'm just washing up some more plant pots that are gonna get added to sale. So yeah, it's funny. The yard's really empty because it had all of our furniture out there for the cafe, but that is all now for sale. So we've got these French folding tables that were our furniture outside. Yeah, starting to feel real. So I'm upstairs at SMUG in my studio, sitting on my sofa, and I thought that I would just take this opportunity to explain a little bit more about why SMUG is closing and what I'm doing next. You might have seen the Instagram grid post that I put up to announce the fact that the bricks and mortar store was going to close and SMUG in general is coming to an end. I'll put that in the description box. And I also did a podcast episode that explains a little bit more detail as to how I got to the point that I decided to do it. But to sort of tell you here on YouTube as well, because I think some of you follow me more for the mummy bits and don't maybe know as much about what I do at SMUG. So SMUG is my design store and we've been here over 10 years. When I opened it in 2009, it was just me at the cash desk, the only member of staff, and then after a few years I gradually started employing people and have had lots of wonderful people work here over the years. And as I've been kind of growing the business, I've done various things. I mean, there are elements of them that are all obviously about SMUG and product, and the collaborations that I worked with on lots of designers and new designers that we launched here when they hadn't been anywhere else. It's been a really lovely journey building relationships with lots of wonderful designers and people and customers. But alongside that, I also have started designing my own products. I launched the podcast, which I mentioned, which actually it's been a surprise, but that's the furthest reaching thing that I do. I feel like it's the thing that I do that makes the most impact on people and people find the most helpful and people communicate with me the most about. So that was a surprise, but a real blessing, and I love doing that. I also have taken on more like bits of public speaking and being on panels. I'm at University of the Arts London in February on a panel called Power Women Who Podcast, which is going to be really fun. So I do bits and bobs like that, and the meetups and workshops and book club. So there's so many bits of kind of writing and designing and podcasting and filming on YouTube that I've added over the years that I just feel like it's the moment that I really want to lean into that and expand that stuff. And it's always the stuff that falls to the bottom of the list because SMUG is so huge in comparison to these lots of these little threads of things that I do, that it ends up having to be obviously the most important thing always. And I find it really hard to send newsletters out to the Lizzie for SMUG Creative Entrepreneurs mailing list, and I want to be doing that monthly, and I want to be updating you all with the things that I'm doing and the content I'm producing for you. And yeah, I've just really struggled to do that as much as I want to, and I've noticed that even more so since having Stan as well. And the idea of being able to work from home on the things that I feel really excited about in a more kind of free and creative and kind of aligned place where there's more peace and space is what I'm hoping for. So it felt like after 10 years of SMUG, though it's been a dream and I've loved it so much, I'm ready for a bit of a change of pace, and I kind of want the next decade of my life to look slightly different in terms of work-life balance. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and that's why SMUG's coming to an end, even though it's so wonderful. But we're wanting to go out with a bang and have opportunities for people to come and spend time with us. Obviously there's a great sale on, lots of happy customers getting bargains, but more than that, the meetups like Nancy's meetup, and more importantly really because it's for our customers, my meetup, and Manolia's teaching a drawing club this Sunday, so that'll be today when this goes live. So yeah, it's really special to be having these opportunities to spend time with people before we're not here anymore. I bought the building a few years ago, so I will have tenants move into the building, and that will be part of my portfolio, career, creative, entrepreneurial kind of income, I suppose. It will be one of my revenue streams, so that will really help with me being able to focus on maybe writing a book or some books and designing more. I'm considering wholesaling Lizzie for SMUG, but I definitely want to expand that collection. So if you want to see more of what I do and kind of want there to be one place that holds it all together, the best place is my website. So www.lizzieforsmug.com kind of expresses how all of these things sit together and what I'm doing next after SMUG. But there's lots to do before I get onto that. There's lots of fun events and stuff that we're doing here. There's lots to sell to clear the space, and then there's lots of organising and sorting out the loft and all of my stuff and where it's all going to go. So yeah, there's lots of admin-y stuff to do that I'm sure will go into February. But in terms of the shop actually being open to the public, our last day is Friday the 31st of January. So yeah, that's what's happening. I thought I should just catch you up here too. So this is the upstairs space that we're going to have Nancy's event and my event next Saturday. So I've just got some organising to do. I've been spreading out and working here on the accounts. So I'm going to clear the space, get it all ready for the weekend. And yeah, I'll add in the description box tickets to my meetup, which is the following Saturday, so Saturday the 25th. So yeah, if I said workshop, I mean meetups. Nancy's got one called Grounded Creatives, and we're meeting here tomorrow, and I'm going to do the guest talk, like I said. So planning for that and trying to get this space looking a bit tidier for her. It's much later in the day now, as you can see by the lighting. I'm at home. Stan's had his dinner with Danny, and I came home and joined him for stories and bath time and bedtime. So he's now asleep and Dan's cooking our dinner. So yeah, I'm going to spend the evening working on this vlog a little bit and some other bits and bobs that I've got to do. And then I'm going to keep filming tomorrow at Nancy's event. I saw Nancy tonight. We started setting some bits up, and she said it's fine to film. So I'll probably take you along for a little bit of that too. Bit of a kind of special, SMUG special weekend vlog. So yeah, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Good morning, I'm back at SMUG. I didn't show you the space a bit more cleared up last night, so I'll quickly show you now. Nancy's going to be in a little bit. She's delivered lots of the bits that she's going to be having, like cheese boards and things and the goodie bag stuff, so I'll just show you the space a little bit. But next time I speak to you will probably be after the event. I'll be filming a little bit of the event so you can see. Maybe there'll be a bit of my talk in there if someone wants to record for me. But yeah, I'll just keep vlogging for the day. Amelia's downstairs running the shop, so that's all happening. So yeah, I'll just keep you up to date. So this is the space now. We've got a few chairs set up with my rucksack on. I'll tidy that away. But mostly it's going to be standing. And obviously we've still got some rubbish and stuff to clear away. A florist is coming to decorate, so that'll be really exciting. And I will let you know in the show notes all of the lovely people involved. There's going to be an amazing cake, and it'll be nice to promote all of those people. So yeah, Nancy will be in a bit, and we'll keep working on the space. And I will speak to you in a bit. Hello again. So I'm Lizzie, as Nancy said, and this is my design store SMUG, which I opened just over 10 years ago. And it's, as Nancy mentioned, I'm in an interesting period because I don't know if you noticed, but we've got a lot of a big old sale downstairs because the shop is closing at the end of the month. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey of why I've chosen to do that and where I started and where I've got to now. And a lot of it is all about values. So before I opened the shop, I thought that I would go into branding, but I didn't do that, and that's a different story. But it meant when I came into the business and planning it, I knew about kind of brand values and representing the business in the way I wanted to, and had some specific words I was leading from. But what I've learned over the years is also about personal values and how if you can get those two things to marry up, you can create a business that supports you as a human being rather than you're just chasing your tail, doing whatever your business has kind of led you to. So that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. So when I opened SMUG 10 years ago, my kind of brand words, I didn't even think of them as values then, but the kind of way I wanted to communicate the business was all about home. So I hadn't been to any shops at that time. I was only 24, by the way, at this stage. But I hadn't been to any shops that were laid out kind of almost like someone's home, and it was about welcoming people into a space and not just having things lined up in rows, but actually curating it and styling it in a way that would inspire people to be able to do that at home. So curation and home and colour, I've always loved colour, were big parts of it. And also at uni, we were always thought we were totally clever for using the word juxtaposition. But for me, at the beginning, it was a lot to do with how vintage things and modern things would sit together and curating that. So that was a big part of it too. And actually, without me knowing it, because I wasn't doing it intentionally, that very much aligned with me as a person. It's certainly the way I was dressing, was like mixing vintage and new things and loving colour. But what I've learned along the way and discovered through kind of more looking into myself and self-development as the business has grown, how it's got much bigger, and sort of as a way of not just getting carried into that, but wanting to direct kind of the way the business works as I've employed new people and not been the person at the cash desk anymore. When I first started, it was literally me just sitting there all day, every day of the week. But as it's grown, it's needed that kind of ownership and to know what direction it's going in. And over the years, I've added things obviously like the podcast, how to curate your life, and that came about through me understanding how important self-care is within being a business owner and how looking after yourself and trying to not just get completely burnt out, basically. And I've noticed over the years my values have changed, and curate continues to be in there. I think it's always going to be there for me, and any kind of creative elements I'm always wanting to keep. But I've noticed feeding in more and more have been freedom and peace and space and family even. And so what I've done gradually is I've noticed that the way my business is structured needed to allow for those values to come through more. And interestingly, something that I hadn't noticed or hadn't thought about really, I don't know if any of you have found this, if you have any kind of sort of business or brand, is that people really want to know about the person behind it. I didn't come into this knowing that that was going to be a thing. I just thought, well, this is the shop. People want to see pictures of the shop and know about the shop. And I found that actually people really wanted to know about me and the person behind it. And back in the day, I remember a friend of mine telling me there's this new thing called Instagram. And I was sort of like, oh gosh, no, I've got Twitter and Facebook and like, I can't, there's too many things, I'm really busy. And she's like, I think you'll really like it. And eventually, obviously, I got Instagram, and that's been a huge part of our business and a huge tool for me in working out what our business is and how I fit within it. So something that I've kind of, this isn't an original me thing at all, you've probably heard it before, but something I always say is when you're thinking about how you fit into your business and the other way around, is about being yourself, because everybody else is taken. So a way of making what you do instantly unique is making it about you, because you're the only you, and that's obviously going to make it set apart from other things and be truly you. So as I've kind of grown that philosophy and wanted to talk more and more about it, which is why the podcast happened in the first place, and I realised how important work-life balance is and taking care of yourself. I gradually noticed that it's something you have to keep reminding yourself, that it's not self-indulgent to look after yourself and care about what's important to you. And I feel like, I don't know, as women, but you know, we have to keep reminding ourselves that it's okay to do that. So that's something that I really try and promote through the podcast, that people are thinking about taking care of themselves, because it's so easy to burn out, and actually if the buck stops with you, you're screwed. Like, it's not like you get a medal for it, it actually messes everything up. So self-care and looking after yourself and making sure that these values align is actually really, really important. Part of, and it's actually, not to scare you too much, but it's obviously a big part of why the bricks and mortar store is now coming to a close. So as I've been led by my values, I've created my own product collection because I wanted more opportunity to be creative. Obviously there were lots of ways I could be creative with the shop already, and over the years we started doing exclusives that were SMUG only things with designers who had started out, and maybe we were the first place to have them, but they were getting bigger, and like John Lewis and whoever else wanted them. And I noticed that in order to keep that special relationship, it made sense for us to have something of theirs in a different colourway, or maybe I'd work with them on a product. So I was having that kind of creativity and curating the shop, but I realised really what I wanted was to be designing my own stuff. So I added that into it, but obviously that took me away from some of the other things, and you need to have a bigger team to run that. And then the podcast has been amazing. The podcast actually, and I didn't see it coming, I literally just wanted a podcast because I started listening to everyone else's podcasts and got really excited about podcasts, and naive enough to be like, oh, add another thing to what I do. But actually that's ended up, interestingly, having the widest spread of everything I do. And as I've noticed how important relationships are and how much I get and other people get from the podcast and talking to people, that's ended up being a really big priority for me. And actually when I opened the shop, I wouldn't call myself a shy person, but I wasn't very good at communicating with human beings, I don't think. Just more, not so much from being shy, more from just being self-contained and maybe not noticing the cues of what a normal way to behave. But from people coming out, in and out constantly, and me getting to know people and designers, obviously I've got kind of more used to that. But things like the podcast and my own designs and a bit more public speaking and some coaching and all of that sort of stuff has really excited me and made me want to lean into those things and doing more writing. And actually I've been really lucky is a stupid word, but I'm going to use it anyway, to have had those things happen at the same time as SMUG's been developing, and it was kind of, it's sort of sustainable to a point using the two together, but I've almost had to wait to a point for those things to work well enough for me that it's almost okay for SMUG to drop off. I still don't know if it's going to be okay, but because those things have grown to a rate that they make sense as my business, the hope is that as SMUG stops, I can still carry on with those things, and people will still sort of care about those other things that I'm doing, even without the more obvious like bricks and mortar store. People really enjoy being able to understand what you do by pigeonholing you. So many people are like, so you're not going to have the shop anymore, what are you going to do? Complete career change. And it's sort of like, well no, like everything else that I still do, I'll still be doing. But obviously it's easy for people to be like, I see you have a shop. I have friends who constantly walk past and be like, you're never at the cash desk. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not my job. But
you don't live.
that's not what I do. But yeah, this whole thing of values coming through has now actually, again, like I said, not to scare you, but got me to the point that actually wanting to spend time being able to work from home and have a much more flexible working life. It might be that some people would be able to do that with still having their business ticking over and employing more people, but for me, maybe I'm a perfectionist, but also it's quite a kind of burden in the back of your mind knowing all of this is happening without you, and I kind of feel like I want to be all in with this, so if I can't be all in with this, I kind of feel like it's the right moment to stop. It's been an amazing decade, but yeah, I'm trying to be, well, I'm not even trying to. Once you make a decision that feels right, it just completely clicks. So although it's an end of an era and I'll be a bit sad, I'm super excited to be leaning into being able to do more writing and more designing. I love the collection that I launched, but I did launch it in 2017 and have done like 2 new products since then. So I really want to be able to design my next collection and to be able to do my work in a context that completely aligns with my personal values. So that's my plan. That's what I recommend. I don't know what the next chapter will look like, but that's, for me, something that I think if we can do. I know that it's quite a different world now from our parents and their parents of understanding what a job looks like, and it would sound like complete madness to them that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna run a business from home and work when I feel like it and still get to see my kid and get to kind of go to exhibitions and get really excited and inspired. But that's what I'm trying to build. So I'm hoping that my own work and my work through SMUG and those aligning together is going to allow for that to happen. So yeah, that's the plan. Hi again, it's Sunday now, just chilling on the sofa with Mabes. Can you see her yet? There you go. Sounds asleep, and I'm going to finish this vlog and get it edited and up for you. It was a great event. I loved speaking at Nancy's event. That was really good fun. So hopefully you'll find the talk interesting. I was trying to edit it down and there weren't any places that I could that easily cut it. So I'm afraid you've got the whole thing. Feel free to fast forward. But yeah, it's been a really, really nice weekend. Hopefully this vlog has told you a little bit more of the story of why I've decided to close SMUG and the kind of priorities for me for 2020 and what I'm going to be looking at focusing on. So yeah, I hope you're all having a good weekend, or whenever you've watched this you're having a great day. Do remember that if you are watching this in real time, then on Saturday the 25th of January, so to me that's next weekend, if you're available, I would absolutely love for you to come to my meetup for other creative women interested in getting more self-care into their routine, in their personal kind of the structure of their personal life and how that could affect their business and help them blossom in what they're doing and help their business grow by taking better care of themselves. So yeah, obviously those details will be in the show notes, but thanks for watching, guys. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be lovely. I'm trying to upload a different video every single weekend, so lots more to come.